Chapter 76. Do you regret it? Kill. Wang De growled, ferociously leaping into the air from the tree branch. As he was about to get near to his mortal enemy, 3 moon blades shot out from nowhere suddenly and intercepted him midway. Why is there a 4th Gu Master? Wang Da's heart sank, twisting his body forcefully in midair, narrowing, avoiding 2 moon blades. The remaining one, which he could no longer evade, hit his left leg. Bang! Wang De crashed onto the ground, lowering his head to look at his left leg. There was a wound, deep and long, blood already dripping all over. Damn! Wang De gritted his teeth, his heart thinking, shadow follower Gu. Immediately, he turned into a lump of dark shadow as his speed rose drastically, moving backwards without a sound. At this moment, a Gu worm flew out from nowhere. At the same time, an old and weary voice sounded out, flash blink Gu, explode. The Gu worm exploded on command, turning into a blinding white light. The white light was unavoidable, abruptly appearing and turning the entire dark forest bright. Ah! Wang De shrieked. His body, which had turned into shadows, could not hide anywhere under the bright light, and went back to his human form. Although the flash blink Gu was only rank 1 and also a consumable type, it was the complete counter of Wang Da's shadow follower Gu. Once the darkness was dispelled by the light, the rank 2 shadow follower Gu needed to rest 3 hours before it could be used again. In nature, all beings are equal, one counters another. Although the shadow follower Gu had very strong lurking abilities, it also had a great weakness. After he was countered, Wang Da's heart sank to the bottom of the valley. This 4th Gu Master was more experienced. Not only did he know which Gu to use, he also hid himself well, a true foe. More importantly, Wang De could no longer use the shadow follower Gu, thus having no way to retreat. I am Gu Yuso, lad. If you surrender now, my clan might still spare your life. A white-haired, silver-beard rank 2 Gu Master appeared in front of Wang Da's vision. Spare me? I'll kill you first. Wang De knew that if it was dragged, there would be more Gu Masters appearing to deal with him. He had to kill this 4th Gu Master as soon as possible. My primeval essence only has 20% left, be it revenge or preserving my life. I have to kill this meddlesome old fellow first. Wang De picked up his spirits and jumped towards Gu Usou. Gu Yuso snorted. His entire body, be it hair or poor hair, grew insanely and intertwined, in the blink of an eye forming a snow-white battle armor with a spiky design. Seeing this change, Wang Da's expression changed. The experienced Gu Master was like a porcupine, causing Wang De to not know how to strike. His rank 2 strong poison Gu love life separation. Although the poison was extremely strong and deadly, it did not have strong attacking abilities. Only usable as a sneak attack. Wang De only had love life separation and shadow follower Gu. If he had a defensive Gu worm, he would not have gotten hit by the moonblade. If I cannot deal with you, I'll kill Fang Yuan first. Wang De was not stupid. The 3 years of living had made him cunning and ruthless. He moved quickly, getting around Gu Yuso and attacking the culprit of his family's murder. Dream on. Gu Yuso activated his primeval essence, and his body of spikes immediately shot out 2 sharp pins, spiraling and flying 5 to 6 meters towards Wang De. Wang Da's body shifted, narrowly avoiding the 2 snow-white spikes on his hands. His 10 nails were half a palm long, purple and dark, the fog state poison circulating them. Die. Wang De was already mad from battle, laughing maniacally as he rushed towards his target. In his eyes, Fang Yuan's face was full of shock and panic. Killing intent had overtaken Wang Da's brain. He could almost hear himself piercing Fang Yuan's skin. In his indignant last breath, "You wish." Seeing that he was about to succeed, another person appeared, blocking Wang Da's way. The 5th Gu Master rushed over from nearby. It's actually the love life separation? This middle-aged man was unmoved by Wang Da's crazy and ferocious demeanor. Rock-Skin Gu. The middle-aged man activated his primeval essence, red steel primeval essence gushing out like smoke. His naked arms immediately turned from yellow to gray-white color. At the same time, both his arms expanded like balloons, forming a large and thick rock arm. As both parties got closer, Wang Da's expression became more twisted and insane. The middle-aged Gu Master had a solemn expression as he stretched out both arms to grab Wang De. Trying to get me with this speed? Wang De showed a mocking expression. The middle-aged man's limbs were covered by a thick rock skin. Even Wang Da's nails could not penetrate. But the arms were really too heavy and slow. Fang De felt that he could easily evade them. Really? Jade Windwheel. The middle-aged Gu Master shouted, and suddenly a pair of jade-colored cyclones circulated around his rock arm like armbands. The rock arm's speed immediately rose. How can that be? Ugh. Wang Da's face was shocked as he was swept by the rock arm and flew away. The middle-aged Gu master was experienced in battle. If he had used the Gu Jade wind wheel from the start, Wang Da might not have fallen so easily. Wang Da was sent flying by the rock arm, falling on the ground in a mess. The chest that was hit felt pain. Puked. He barely got up, but could not help but vomit blood. 5% primeval essence left. I'm gonna die. He checked his aperture, laughing bitterly. Seeing Fang Yuan near him, he showed insane resolve on his face. Even if I die, you will join me. He ignored his injuries and rushed out. Block him. The middle-aged Gu master was a pure close-ranged fighter with no long-range Gu. At once he could do nothing. The old Gu master had already arrived, his body's white hair turning into finger-sized spirals as they flew like nimble snakes, extending 5 to 6 meters and reached from behind, piercing Wang Da's body. But Wang Da did not care, rushing out regardless. Die. He screamed loudly, his 10 fingernails already 50 centimeters long. The middle-aged Gu master chased after, and upon seeing this scene, his expression changed as he could no longer stop it. Seeing that Wang Da was about to get his way, a bright blue jade light burst from the other side. Jade skin Gu. Under the pressure of life and death, Fang Zheng screamed out loudly. Immediately, his skin was covered by a sturdy layer of jade skin. Wang Da's fingers were like knife blades, stabbing at him. Although the love-life separation did not have strong attacking ability, the jade skin Gu was only a rank 1 Gu worm and could not block his nails. Howl. The elderly Gu master, seeing Fang Zheng about to die, shouted frantically and his eyes expanded. Even more snow-white needles shot out and pierced Wang Da's body. After that, the needles worked like snakes, first piercing his back to his chest, then circulating around his neck, his arms, and his legs. Boiling blood poured from Wang Da's body, immediately dyeing the white hair red. His entire body was covered by white hair, just like the wild boar who had fallen into a trap of green bamboo spikes, stopping his charge and being unable to move. An intense feeling of dizziness hit him. Wang Da laughed pathetically. He knew that death was impending. How unsatisfying. His vision was dyed blur, and on his death moment, the most vivid memory in his life surfaced again. One air. He subconsciously called out his wife's name, as the knife on his hand pierced her body. Why? His wife looked at Wang Da, her beautiful face showing confusion and shock, tightly staring at Wang Da's eyes. Wang Da's eyes were red, as his body shivered, forcing out a word from his mouth. Sorry. His wife smiled slightly, her smile full of love. There was not a single drop of hate. I understand, she said. She wanted to stretch out her right hand, touching Wang Da's face for the last time before she died. But in the middle, her hand dropped, killing his wife for her heart and refining love-life separation. From then on he had strength and went on the demonic path. Do you have regrets? From that day on, he constantly asked himself this. I regretted. He regretted so much that he would rather die. Thus he swore that he had to protect the remaining family members of his. But, if I could start from the beginning again, one heir, I would still do the same. Emotional tears poured from Wang Da's red eyes. Fang Zheng stared at him, his body glowing with jade light. From start to end, he was in deep confusion and suspicion. An unfamiliar Gu master rushed madly towards himself and wanted to tear him to bits. But Fang Zheng did not know him. Under the thick death aura, Fang Zheng could not move an inch. His mind was blank as he only subconsciously activated the jade skin Gu. Wang Da's nails pierced the jade skin and stabbed 1 centimeter in, but did not move anymore. He died. He was full of tears when he died. It's over. Fang Zheng breathed roughly, his eyes losing focus and seemed rather hollow. Then, a strong sense of dizziness overcame him. Plop. He also fell on the ground. Love-life separation, the strongest rank 2 poison. Although it did not pierce through all the jade skin, the poison already invaded his body. Chapter 77. An odd coincidence. A wild boar almost as huge as an elephant was lying in the mud pit. It closed its eyes shut, half kneeling and half lying. A pair of tusks clean from soil, shining like sharp blades. The twilight reflected on its dark black fur. Its huge stomach was white, and with each breath, moved up and down creating a snorting sound. Wild Boar King. Fang Yuan was several hundred meters away from it, but still carefully walked along with the direction of the wind. Even though I can kill wild boars now, against this wild boar king, I can only run away. Even an average rank 2 goo master cannot kill it. If he is not clear of the goo worms on its body, he might even fall prey to it. King of the beasts normally have goo worms inhabiting their bodies that on the wild boar king's body. There would normally be boar goo, such as pink boar goo or flower boar goo. Other than the boar species, there might also be beast skin goo or spike fur worm. In this world, there are all sorts of goo worms. Normally, goo worms reside in the bodies of strong wild beasts and live alongside the wild beasts. When the wild beast gets attacked, the goo worms will sense the danger and assist the wild beast in resisting the strong foe. This wild boar king's body was huge, and its strength greatly exceeded the average wild boar. Fang Yuan was no match against it alone. Not to mention, there was at least one or more mysterious goo worms in its body. However, Fang Yuan's adventure this time was not to kill the wild boar king. It was to avoid Wang Da's pursuit. Wang Da knew that Fang Yuan had the beast skin map, and Fang Yuan used that knowledge to his advantage, going nowhere but instead heading towards the wild boar king's danger marking area. The wild boar king, although dangerous, was still a beast after all, and had no human intelligence. Old man Wang, as a mortal, could venture to this place and retreat safely. So why couldn't Fang Yuan do the same? Going on a reverse path, although seemingly dangerous, hid a way to survive. Instead, as he moved even further, the wild boar king was slowly left behind by Fang Yuan. On the map, it would seem like Fang Yuan took a big circle and went around the red cross, forming a concave curve. Finally, he reached the hill where several clan elders were staying and having the mid-year assessment there on the spot. An hour later, a youngster full of grass bits, his shirt torn in several areas, and his feet full of mud, carried a bag and ran up the hill. This pathetic-looking youngster was Fang Yuan. I'm finally safely back here. At this place, there are clan elders to protect me and my safety is assured. But I cannot afford to be careless. Fang Yuan sighed in relief and slowly ascended the hill. The hill had a simple tintage and tens of students were nearby as the academy's guards were collating the wild boar tusks in their bags. The few clan elders that were stationed here were missing, and only one was left. Why is the atmosphere so weird? Fang Yuan frowned slightly, acutely feeling something important had occurred. When he got near the tintage, he heard the students' discussions. Did you hear? There was an assassination earlier, and several rank 2 goo masters died. Are you serious? It's true. I came here early, and I saw Guyu Fangzheng carried away by several clan elders, hurrying away. Guyu Fangzheng is too unlucky to encounter something like this during the exam. Hehe, you don't know, huh? The target was Fangzheng, because he is a great talent. I wonder if he'll die? Even if he doesn't die, he's going to be affected. Maybe his talent might drop after that injury. Fang Yuan's footsteps halted. He was clear in his heart, conjuring the truth of the matter. Wang Da wanted to deal with me and avenge his kin. But after I found the treehouse, I changed my route and went towards the wild boar king. Wang Da did not expect this and found Fangzheng by accident instead. His source of information came from those hunters, and he did not know that I have a twin brother. He mistook Fangzheng as me and wanted to kill me, but was stopped by the surrounding goo masters who were protecting the area. Right now the question is, did Wang Da die? Fang Yuan frowned tightly. Wang Da successfully escaping, Wang Da captured, Wang Da killed. These three possibilities would greatly affect his future plans and actions. Thinking for a while, Fang Yuan decided to follow his original plan. The Academy Elder's expression was ugly. Fangzheng was actually assassinated. Without any clues or evidence, he would not be able to guess that Fangzheng had become Fang Yuan's scapegoat, but thought of the Bai clan and Xiong clan. Fangzheng was the only A-grade talent that the Guyu clan had for the last 3 years. The Bai clan and Xiong clan would naturally not let him grow. Sending an assassin Gu master to kill him and prevent him from getting stronger, this was normal. Even the Guyu clan would do something like this, secretly sending Gu masters and targeting the other 2 clans' genius students. The assassin was killed on the spot, but I wonder how is Fangzheng's injuries? Academy Elder thought, and at this moment, his attendant brought him a piece of paper. Academy Elder received the paper, reading without paying proper attention. In this year's examination, the results are as follows. Guyu Chi Chung 16 tusks, Guyu Mo Bei 14 tusks. The surrounding students' attention were obtained. The results were clear. D grade students. Even if they worked together, they could only obtain 3 to 4 tusks. B and C grades, at most 8 to 9. Those with more than 10 tusks were the good performers. The best was Guyu Chi-chung with 16 tusks. Next was Mo Bei, and as for Fang Zheng, he had Ten. Guyu Chi-chung showed a smug expression. He was lucky this time and encountered 2 wild boars fighting each other. Thus he got the easy reward. Guyu Mo Bei was indignant, allowing Chi-chung to surpass him. The Academy Elder announced. As such, I announce the #1 student for this examination is Halt. Fang Yuan stepped out at this moment. Fang Yuan, you are late. The examination ended an hour ago. According to the rules, the wild boar tusks that you obtain will be deducted by 4 as punishment. Chi-chung immediately shouted. Fang Yuan ignored him and opened the bag on his back, grabbing the bottom of the bag and pouring out the contents. Crash. Dozens of wild boar tusks gathered into a pile by his feet. This. Chi-chung stared with his mouth agape. Mo Bei and the others stared their eyeballs out at the pile. How can there be so many? This is too much. The Academy Elder looked at Fang Yuan in disbelief. Fang Yuan, did you hunt all these? Fang Yuan cupped his fists. I only hunted a dozen tusks myself, but I found a bag that could have been hidden by hunters. Inside it were many wild boar tusks. I thought about it. The exam was that we had to obtain as many tusks as possible within a day, and did not specify that we have to kill it ourselves. Thus I brought it here. Once he finished, the crowd burst into discussions. How can this be? Way too lucky. This is too fake. Could the questions have leaked, thus he cheated? The Academy Elder stared at Fang Yuan, looking for a while, then declared, this exam, Fang Yuan, is the first. The family headroom's atmosphere was heavy. Guyu Bo sat at the leading seat, and the other dozen elders sat in 2 rows beside him, their faces full of rage. Guyu Yaoji, you are the #1 healer in our clan. I'm asking you, how is Fang Zheng now? Guyu Bo asked a clan elder. Guyu Yaoji was an old woman with a hunched back, her face full of tree bark-like wrinkles. She coughed twice, slowly saying, reporting to clan head, the situation has stabilized. Fang Zheng's life is in no danger, but he is still sleeping. His talent did not drop because of this. Good if the talent didn't drop. Guyu Bo breathed a sigh of relief. He asked the Punishment Hall's elder, has the assassin's situation been assessed? The Punishment Hall elder was not as senior as Guyu Yaoji and immediately stood up, lowering his head. Yes, 35 years old, male, identity unknown, possibly a demonic faction Gu master. He has 2 Gu worms, Shadow Follower Gu and Love-Life Separation. Guyu Bo nodded. Seems like an assassin, Love-Life Separation. The rank 2 #1 poison. No wonder he could kill 3 of my Gu masters. Clan head, we have to investigate further. It's either the Bai clan or the Xiong clan. Guyu Chi Lian shouted, his eyes almost bursting into flames. Shadow Follower Gu, Love-Life Separation. This is not like the Bai or Xiong clan's pawn pieces. He might be an outside demonic faction Gu master, wanting to get affiliated with the clans, thus being instructed to assassinate Fang Zheng to prove his loyalty. Regardless, this matter definitely has to do with the 2 clans, Guyu Emochin coldly said. These 2 clan elders in power, although they did not get along. Once an external enemy appears, they would discard their hatred and knit tightly together. Guyu Bo nodded, thinking the same himself. Wangda had disappeared for 3 years, with no traces to be found. The villagers all thought of him to be dead, thus his identity became a mystery. The Guyu higher-ups did not know this. They would not be concerned with a servant's death. They placed all their attentions on the Xiong and Bai clans. At this moment, the Academy Elder walked in. Clan leader, he looked worried and was about to speak when Guyu Bo answered, Academy Elder, Fang Zheng is fine. His talent is still a great. The Academy Elder's face became relaxed. Oh yes, are the other students safe? And for this examination, how are their results? Which place is Fang Zheng? Guyu Bo asked conveniently. The Academy Elder answered truthfully, and when he said that Fang Yuan had accidentally picked up a bag of wild boar tusks and got first place, Guyu Bo's eyes shone. The hall too went silent. The clan elders, as if they sensed it, subtly observed the atmosphere, and the originally nervous environment became slightly more peculiar. Chapter 78. Great Rewards All According to Plan. In the discussion room, Gyubo expressionlessly sat in the leader's seat with deep, meaningful eyes. The remaining dozen or so clan elders all sat upright, looking down, only using the corner of their eye to sweep the surroundings and discern some clues from their expressions. The atmosphere became delicate. Fang Yuan getting first place. The deeper meaning behind this is definitely not simple. He actually said he found a bag of hidden wild boar tusks. This is too unbelievable. This bag might have been prepared by someone. It is not possible for Fang Yuan to do it himself. That means someone is helping Fang Yuan in the dark. This year's mid-year exam is unlike the previous ones. We had to deploy tens of rank 2 Gu masters to invigilate the exam. Thus the contents of this examination, not only does the Academy Elder know, but many of the elders in the clan as well. If anyone wanted to prepare this bag in advance, it can only be the clan elders present here now, or even the clan leader. The clan elders were all shrewd foxes. After being in the political field for years, they immediately thought of many things. Fang Zheng was an A-grade talent. If he really reached rank 4, what did that mean? That would mean he is the next clan leader. Fang Yuan is Fang Zheng's brother. Even if he is only C-grade, with that blood relationship, he is worth investing in. To the clan leader Gyubo, if he helped Fang Yuan secretly, that would be bringing him into his faction, into Fang Zheng. It was a good belt to tie him to the leader faction together. To the clan elders, Fang Zheng, who is the only A-grade talent in years, has already been absorbed into the clan leader's faction. If he was really nurtured, the clan leader's faction would be even stronger. However, if the clan elders made Fang Yuan into their own, using this layer of blood relation, it would be a good chess piece when dealing in Fang Zheng in the future. Thus, the 10 over people in this hall, they all had the motive to help Fang Yuan. But who? Yu Qilian thought deeply. I did not recruit Fang Yuan, so who would help him secretly? Is it Imochen, that old man? Possible. Although Fang Yuan killed his family servant, but that's just a servant. Even if they all died, it wouldn't hurt him. The clan leader is more possible, though. He took in Fang Zheng, so if he recruited Fang Yuan as well, that would increase his control over Fang Zheng. But, in previous years, the norm is to recruit them during the year-end exam. Taking his action now during the mid-year, it is breaking the rules. Not exactly breaking the rules, but it really is throwing a curveball. Just exactly who thinks highly of Fang Yuan, even more than me? Guyu Mo Qin was also thinking. The truth is, after Fang Yuan killed Gao Wan and sent the minced corpse, he changed his impression of Fang Yuan and had the thoughts of recruiting him. But such actions only happened during the year-end. After the students graduated from the academy, Fang Yuan being recruited in advance, it struck Mo Qin by surprise. Guyu Bo's gaze was focused on Guyu Mo Qin and Guyu Qilian, the 2 elders in power. This clan leader had greater insight. Fang Yuan blatantly said a lie and got the first place. This action had the meaning of being fearless, thus sending a signal to everyone to show them that I'm protecting Fang Yuan. He is now my member, and you all better not touch him. Then who is this person? The political field in the Guyu clan was split into 3. Other than the clan leader faction, it was Guyu Qilian's chief family, and Guyu Mo Qin's Mo family. Guyu Bo knew that he himself did not take any actions to recruit Fang Yuan. Thus, the greatest suspect was Qilian and Mo Qin. These 2 old fellows, their acting is improving. Seeing their expressions, I really cannot tell. Don't tell me it really isn't them, but some other small faction? Guyu Bo observed carefully as he investigated. He did not know that all the elders were like him, observing, suspecting, and deducing. The academy elder was also guessing, but he had always been in a neutral position, outside of politics, thus his thoughts were simpler. So Fang Yuan has been recruited by a clan elder. No wonder he let go of Fang Zheng, Mo Bei, and Qi Qing while extorting. That means the one who recruited him was either the clan leader, Qilian, or Mo Qin. This is good news. It shows that he has accepted reality and has started integrating into the clan. No matter what, he is now a member of the clan, so once he fully integrates, he will contribute his entire life to the clan. After a short silence, Gyubo could not see any more clues, thus he spoke, an eye for an eye. Since the other party has started targeting Fang Zheng, our Guyu clan is not to be trifled with. We will show them. Dark Hall Elder, formulate a plan for this matter and report to me afterwards. Yes, Sir Clan Leader. Dark Hall Elder immediately nodded. As for Guyu Fang Zheng, I'm afraid his heart might be damaged from such an encounter. He is an A-grade talent, and to our clan, the status is monumental. From now on, I will teach him personally. Gyubo said. No clan elders objected. Many people knew that the clan leader had already given much benefits to Guyu Fangzheng in the dark. Now that he mentioned this, even though it violated the fairness rule, with sufficient reasoning, the clan elders could not stop him. As for Guyu Fang Yuan, Gyubo dragged his words. At once, all the clan elders paid their fullest attention. Was the clan leader hinting that he was the one helping Fang Yuan secretly? Gyubo looked at everyone's expression as his gaze swept through, but he was destined to be disappointed. Thus, he could only continue. With his C-grade talent, he managed to get first place. It is not easy. Thus, in my personal name, I reward him 30 primeval stones. Academy Elder, pass my word and tell him to continue working hard. Yes, clan leader. The Academy Elder bowed as he received his orders. 30 primeval stones, such an ordinary reward. What does this mean? The clan elders frowned. No matter who absorbed Fang Yuan, this 30 primeval stones is my expression of goodwill. After all, there is still the Bai and Xiong clan other than Guyu. Gyubo sighed in his heart. Fang Zheng was assassinated by external foes. Fang Yuan's cheating was internal conflict. Against external foes, one had to use hard-handed methods to retaliate, but for internal conflict, Gyubo chose to use the soft approach. In order to avoid too much internal conflict and result in the entire clan's strength being weakened. All right, this matter will be settled like this. Everyone may leave and do all your work well. The clan's prosperity has everything to do with your performances. Gyubo waved his hand. Yes, clan leader, we will take our leave. The clan elders left one by one, and after a few breaths' time, only Gyubo was left in the room. He sighed deeply, using his fingers to rub his two temples. As the clan leader. Even if he was the person with the most authority in the Guyu clan, it did not mean that he had it easy. He needed to coordinate the interests of the different factions and could not do as he wished. The clan's forces were dispersed and intertwined through many generations of inheritance, and they all had long history, restricting one another against outside forces. He had to deal with the arrogant and rude Xiong clan village and the gradually rising Bai clan village. Internally, he had to resolve the complicated political conflict in the clan. Although he was middle-aged, he already had white hair all over. These years of being the clan leader, although I had sufficient resources, my cultivation has barely advanced. My heart is tired from all these tiresome clan affairs. Sometimes, I really want to be a lone cultivator, free and easy with no burden. That would allow me to move faster, and I might travel even further in my cultivation path. Gyubo sighed in his heart. As long as one is in the clan system, they had responsibilities on them. Once they had responsibilities, it would not be easy to wholeheartedly cultivate. But on the reverse, if one is not in the system, the clan's resources would not be available to them, and without resources, their cultivation would come to a halt. This formed a contradiction, a weird loop. Because of this loop, many people's futures were ruined, burying an insurmountable number of talents and geniuses. Wang De is dead. 3 days later, Fang Yuan got the news. At the same time, he also heard from Jiang that the two young hunters vanished when hunting in the mountains. As for the hunter whose right hand was broken by Fang Yuan, he committed suicide in his home out of depression. Jiang he looked at Fang Yuan meaningfully when he said the news. He had seen Wang Da's corpse, thus recognizing him, but he did not dare to say Wang Da's true identity. He was the station Gu master and held responsibility. As long as one is in the system, regardless of position, they had responsibility. Wang De became a demonic faction cultivator for 3 years. In Jiang he is the village Gu master did not investigate. If they really pursued responsibility, this would become the biggest flaw in his records, and his future in the clan would be ruined. The 3 hunters' peculiar deaths were covered up by him. Fang Yuan, since we're acquaintances. From now on you get a 50% discount when you purchase things from my cousin brother Jiang Ye's shop. During one time, Jiang Yi said this to Fang Yuan. Everyone else was dead. Only Fang Yuan and him knew of this matter. But if the matter was revealed, it did not have a huge impact on Fang Yuan. He only killed 3 village servants, and even if he killed 30, the clan would not pursue it. At most he would pay tens of primeval stones as a punishment. Jiang Yi's bribery, Fang Yuan took it with ease. To him, this matter was full of surprise and danger, but the result was good. After this matter, Fang Yuan, who had no foundation within the clan, received half an ally and also a non-existent faction supporting him. This mysterious backer became Fang Yuan's second safety net. When he started showing his strength gradually, this safety net would have a crucial impact, at least able to allow him to cultivate until rank 2 without much opposition. At this point, he could feel clearly the Academy Elders' changing attitude towards him, into a more amicable one. Over 10 days passed in a flash. After Guyu Fangzheng and Mob advanced, Fang Yuan and Qi Qing almost simultaneously advanced to rank 1 upper stage successfully. Although extortion continued, he no longer took Fangzheng, Mob, and Qi Qing's primeval stones, and he started becoming more low-key, while his strength grew rapidly at a speed multiple times of his previous life. Chapter 79. Breakthrough to the 6th Gu in the Inheritance Ground. Time was like a white steed that flitted past a crack, and summer left with the arrival of autumn. In the walled-in path, Fang Yuan stood once more before the giant boulder blocking the way, due to the weather growing colder. He wore plain and simple garment with long sleeves, but his body figure was no longer the thin sort like how it was a few months ago. His chest, 2 arms and legs, and abdomen all showed obvious muscle. These muscles were not as protruding as a stone, but it showed as a type of streamline, matching up with Fang Yuan's slowly growing body. Matched as well with his white skin, this gave others a type of youthful, full of vitality feeling. Starting from 3 days ago, the white boar Gu stopped supplying me any increase in strength. That means I already have 1 boar's strength, thus reaching the flower wine monk's requirement. Today, I shall try pushing this round rock again. Fang Yuan's eyes shone as he took a step forward with his right leg, his left leg at the back, forming a bow step. His arms touched the surface of the round rock as he took a deep breath in and pushed with all his strength. The large boulder moved under the pressure of both his arms, moving slowly, gradually gaining momentum and rolling forward. The road before the boulder blocking the path was an inclined slope. Being turned into a round rock by the flower wine monk, it was most suitable for rolling. This must have been his intention, to allow the inheritor to push the boulder upwards and move it away. 10 steps, 20 steps, 30 steps. Fang Yuan slowly progressed, counting in his heart. Last week, I pushed it to 45 steps, and that was the limit of my stamina, forcing me to quit. This time, I wonder how far I can push it. 40 steps, 45 steps. A while later, Fang Yuan broke his original record, but that was enough for him to feel unbearably tired. 46 steps, 47 steps. Fang Yuan could feel strongly. At this point his stamina was almost all gone. 48, 49 steps. He mustered all his strength and moved another 2 steps. Finally, he was at his limit, sweating profusely. Using his shoulder and leg to anchor the rock in place, he took a few deep breaths. Should I give up? Fang Yuan could not help but have such thoughts. This inclined slope, when returning he has to expend quite a bit of stamina as well. After all, the rock has to roll down and he had to slowly release it in the process. If he let go and ran, the rock would roll faster and faster. Fang Yuan did not want to get turned into a pile of flesh after being unable to avoid it. But thinking for a while, Fang Yuan felt indignant. Let's push it a few more steps. 50th step. He suddenly felt that the pressure from the huge rock had lightened. It had actually rolled into a straight platform. Fang Yuan pushed for a few more steps. After routing past the huge rock, he found himself in a secret room. This secret room was like the rock crack's secret cave. He temporarily named it the second secret room. There was nothing in the room. The 4 walls were a strange red soil, glowing red. On the other end of the secret room, there was a simple gray-colored rock door. It should be the hurried product of the flower wine monk. Fang Yuan rested for a while but did not immediately open the rock door, as he had a new discovery. He found that the ground before the rock door was slightly damp. Don't tell me, Fang Yuan had a thought. He bent down, stretching out both arms and loosening the soil, the second earth treasury flower. Fang Yuan laughed heartily, carefully peeling the flower petals and retrieving the goo worm slumbering in the golden nectar. Once he deployed his primeval essence, it was instantly refined. This was a jade skin goo. Its appearance was like the bedbug, flat and wide with a small head, and its green body was oval in space, emitting a faint jade-colored glow. I obtained the white boar goo, and was still thinking where could I get a jade skin goo so I could refine it into the white jade goo. To think that the flower wine monk already prepared it for me, Fang Yuan contemplated, thinking about the significance of this jade skin goo. This is Fang Yuan's 6th goo worm. Although he had 5 already, none were defensive. Now that he had the jade skin goo, he could cover up his weakness in defense. At times, defense means offense. This was not hard to understand. Taking for example Fang Yuan's body. Using the white boar goo, his strength grew to 1 boar strength. Theoretically, with this strength, he could smash a rock in 1 punch, but Fang Yuan never did such a thing, because he knew his defense was not sufficient. So with 1 punch, the rock would break, but his fist would also turn bloody from the damage. Now that he had the jade skin goo, he could supplement the advantage he had in strength. Obviously, there were advantages and disadvantages. The jade skin goo had a high value, being one of the best defensive rank 1 goo. It was not easy to feed, consuming 2 pieces of jade rock every 10 days. Jade rock's market price was expensive, and the source was often the problem. Fang Zheng also has a jade skin goo, but he has the clan leader's backing, providing him with jade rocks. If Fang Yuan wanted jade rocks, he would have to buy them, and that could easily expose him. Originally, in feeding the white boar goo, I had to regularly kill wild boars, and that is already troublesome. With the addition of this jade skin goo, do I have to go dig in mines? Fang Yuan laughed bitterly, seeing a new problem in front of him. Keeping the jade skin goo, temporarily nurturing it in his aperture, Fang Yuan gradually opened the rock door. The rock door was heavy, and if Fang Yuan did not have the white boar goo's boost in strength, he would not be able to move it. But now, with Fang Yuan pushing it, the door slowly opened. The scene that was revealed to Fang Yuan caused his field of vision to expand all of a sudden. It was no longer a narrow tunnel or a secret room, but a large spacious plot of underground stone forest. Fang Yuan estimated at initial approximation, the stone forest size was over 30 mu. 1. On Earth, a standard football field was only 11 mu. I should be inside Qingmao Mountain now. This underground space should be naturally formed. Fang Yuan looked up at the stone walls. The stone walls in this space were over 16 meters tall, and the ceiling was also made of stone. From the top, there were large dark red pillars erected. Each emitted a faint red glow, and so did the walls, just like the tunnel and secret room. The light, although dim, allowed Fang Yuan to see some things at least. Fang Yuan looked far, and each stone pillar was like an upside-down tree, except without branches and only leaving the stem. The stone pillar's surface was not smooth and was full of dark, eerie holes. Numerous pillars drooped down, forming an inverted stone forest within the mountain. Nature had its way with things. Fang Yuan, with his immense knowledge, was not shocked, but stared at the dark holes in the pillars. Frowning more intensely, he had suddenly understood the flower wine monk's intention in placing the jade skin goo. If I am not wrong, Fang Yuan turned his right hand, and out came a moon blade. The eerie blue moon blade flew through the sky in an arc, precisely hitting a dark hole in the stone pillar. A shrill and angry sound came from the dark hole. With a swoosh, a gray monkey flew out from the cave and leapt towards Fang Yuan. Pow, pow, pow. Fang Yuan shot 3 moon blades. The monkey was in midair and could not adjust its position, but its tail was extremely agile, sweeping several times and causing its body to flip in midair. After avoiding 2 moon blades, it was finally hit by the third, plopping on the floor dead. It was dead, without a drop of blood. Only its gray body turned to stone, and in a second, its flesh and blood body became a stone monkey statue. The statue's posture and facial expression was just like the monkey right before it died, imitated to perfection. After 2 breaths' time, the stone monkey's surface cracked, and cracks developed all over its body. Finally, with a boom, its entire figure blew up into tiny rock fragments. It really is an underground colony of jade-eye stone monkeys. Fang Yuan knelt down, sweeping the fragments aside and taking out 2 jade green-yellow pearls. These 2 pearls were the jade-eye stone monkey's eyes. This strange animal would turn into gray rock fragments once dead, and only its eyes would turn into 2 jade green spherical pearls. Each were very heavy, reaching at least 50 grams. This meant that as long as he killed jade-eye stone monkeys, the jade skin goo's food problem would be resolved. I not only have to feed the jade skin goo, I also have to continue the inheritance. Flower wine monk's next clue should be hidden in this stone forest. Fang Yuan frowned. Things had become complicated. He tried taking a few steps forward. His eyes peeled to the stone pillar. On his 7th step, on the pillar closest to him, numerous jade-colored glowing eyes could be seen peeking out of the stone holes. At once, a drop of sweat fell from Fang Yuan's forehead. He quickly took a step back, and the numerous eyeballs in the dark holes faded. Evidently, each pair of eyeballs meant a jade-eye stone monkey. The jade-eye stone monkey was terribly agile, and to kill one Fang Yuan had to use 4 moon blades. On a stone pillar, there were at least 100 jade-eye stone monkeys, and in the entire forest, who knew how many were there in total? With Fang Yuan's current strength, he would die from being attacked by 4 monkeys. If he included the Jade Skin Goose defense, Fang Yuan could deal with 12 monkeys at once at most. Thankfully, these monkeys usually slept in their dark holes and ate rocks when they were hungry or thirsty. The stone pillar was their home and food. Unless he got within 10 meters of them or provoked them purposely, they would not come out. Using Earth's words, they were a bunch of neat/hikikomori monkeys. 1 mu is 666 and 2/3 meters superscript 2. Chapter 80. A surge in battle strength. The autumn wind rustled through the air, while the red leaves drifted aimlessly. The wild grass was dried yellow, and brilliant red or orange-yellow wild fruit hung from the tree branches. Harumph. A black-colored wild boar rushed madly with its 4 hooves on the ground, its mane pricking up. There was a thick layer of fallen leaves that accumulated on the surface of the mountain. As the wild boar rushed forward, a gust of wind was wedged between it, and the fallen leaves were sent dancing behind its body. Fang Yuan silently stood there, showing a cold, calculating expression as the wild boar got closer. Kill. He took a huge stride forward, and then both his legs stood firm, not dodging at all, facing the wild boar head-on. The wild boar's 2 snow-white tusks tore through the air with overwhelming killing intent. Fang Yuan turned his body to avoid the tusks, his shoulder knocking onto the wild boar's skull. When they were about to collide, Fang Yuan's shoulder shone with a faint green-colored light. Jade Skin Goo. Boom. With a loud crash, the two collided. Fang Yuan took 3 steps back, while the wild boar took 1 step back. To be fair, when comparing both sides' strength, Fang Yuan was stronger. But Fang Yuan ran with both legs while the wild boar used 4 to sustain its force, and at the same time the center of gravity of the wild boar was lower and more stable than Fang Yuan. However, after being harshly hit on the head by Fang Yuan, although the wild boar was still standing, its fat body was already wavering. With a roar, Fang Yuan rushed up again, his left hand grabbing the wild boar's tusk, his right hand raising high in the air, the light green-colored jade glow forming a thin layer of protection covering his fist. Bam! His fist crashed strongly downwards and the wild boar screamed in pain, struggling intensely. Fang Yuan's muscles on his left arm tensed, and the green veins popped like centipedes encircling his arm as he restrained the wild boar with all his strength. At the same time, his right fist continued to raise and slam down on the boar. Bam, bam, bam. Every time his fist hit the wild boar's head, the green-colored glow on his fist would shine once. The wild boar was smashed into oblivion by the fist, and its struggle became weaker. Last strike. Fang Yuan's eyes glowed like lightning. He loosened his upper body, his right arm stretching straight and raised to the highest point, before smashing down at full force. The green-colored jade light stuck to Fang Yuan's right arm, and following his movement, drew a green arc in the air. Bam. Fang Yuan knelt on the ground on one knee, his elbow harshly whacking the wild boar's skull. Even before the wild boar could cry out, its noise came to a stop. An entire pig head turned deformed. The broken white skull pierced through the black skin, exposing outside. Fresh blood and brain matter slowly flowed out, and in the layers of leaf litter, it infected an area of bright redness. The autumn wind blew. Leaves flew about as the scent of the pig blood emanated. Life is splendid just like the flowers of summer. Death is as delicate as the leaves of autumn, Fang Yuan muttered, appreciating this frame of scenery. The survivor lives brilliantly while the dead is lonely and pitiful, dead or alive, filled with intense difference. It reflected nature's cruelness and the excitement of life. No matter the world, the victor always gets all the fame, while the loser suffers defeat in the unrelentless world. Victory and loss, to me, means life and death. Because I walk on the demonic path, once I lose, it means death awaits. Fang Yuan got close to the corpse and sat on the ground, taking out the white boar goo, letting it consume the meat while his consciousness entered the aperture in his body. Within the aperture, the black-green-colored primeval sea's tides turned and crashed, ebbed and flowed. When the primeval sea is full, it occupied 44% of the space. After an intense battle, Fang Yuan used the jade skin goo multiple times to raise his defense, and some primeval essence was expended, thus there was only 36% primeval essence left. Counting the amount, he only used 8%. Not even 10% of his total. But because this was the rank 1 peak stage black-green primeval essence, the expenditure was considered large. Rank 1 initial stage is jade green primeval essence. Rank 1 middle stage is pale green primeval essence. Rank 1 upper stage is dark green primeval essence. Rank 1 peak stage is black green primeval essence. The essence was in concentration. the relative amount of a particular substance contained within a solution or mixture or in a particular volume of space. The Moonlight Goo's activation required 10% of jade green primeval essence, and in terms of pale green primeval essence, it was 5%. For dark green primeval essence, it further halved, and the same went for black green primeval essence. That is to say, 10% of black green primeval essence was equivalent to 20% dark green, 40% pale green, and 80% jade green primeval essence. Using the jade skin goo cost 8% black green primeval essence. If converted to initial stage jade green primeval essence, it would be 64%. If Fang Yuan was still at initial stage, his aperture would only have 44% primeval essence, and halfway through using the goo, his primeval essence would be completely expended. The higher the goo master's cultivation, the stronger their battle strength, and this shows in the primeval essence. The higher the stage, the darker the color of the primeval essence, and the more durable it is. My black-green primeval essence was on the basis of upper stage primeval essence, refined by the liquor worm. It is unlike Fang Yuan, who is already rank 1 peak stage cultivation already. Thinking of this, Fang Yuan's gaze shone. Time flies, it is already late autumn. 2 months had passed since Wang Da's attempted assassination. Fang Yuan was poisoned and was in comatose for 7 days and 7 nights. Once he woke up, he was like a changed man, very hard-working and also cultivated extremely dutifully. Some people say, difficulties in life was wealth just like gold. Regardless of whether this saying is correct, Fang Yuan did emerge from this difficulty changed and obtain much experience. He was like a raw jade, and after some polishing, he finally showed the beautiful jade quality inside. He was the first to advance to upper stage, and not long ago, he was the first to advance to peak stage, leaving his classmates in the dust. The advantages of an A-grade talent has finally started showing. I am not far from peak stage either, at most half a month. In fact, I have been nurturing my aperture non-stop every day, but a C-grade talent really cannot compete with A and B grades, and I also have another reason. Fang Yuan laughed bitterly without sound as he thought of it. Once in a few days, he would have to kill jade-eye stone monkeys to feed the jade skin goo. At the same time, he had to search inside the stone forest to find the next clue of the flower wine monk's inheritance. The stone forest was complicated with pillars of huge rocks drooping from the ceiling. If Fang Yuan was not careful and got too close to any pillar, he would trigger the attack of all the stone monkeys. A few times, he was chased by tens of stone monkeys and had to escape. The most dangerous time, when retreating, he stepped into another pillar's territory and ended up having up to 100 monkeys chasing after him. Luckily, these monkeys were sedentary, and every time they chased after him, they would not chase too far. After a distance, they would go back to their homes and continue being sedentary. Even so, Fang Yuan walked on the brink of death several times. During crucial times, the jade skin goo's defense came into good use. Such investigation and exploration caused Fang Yuan to devote much time and effort, and thus became the key reason why his cultivation was advancing so slowly. Even so, this is way better than my previous life. The stone forest exploration is not without results either. At least I already know that the walls around the forest have no problems. That means that the next clue of the strength inheritance should be somewhere in the forest. Fang Yuan continued thinking, but suddenly a shadow stepped over the dried branches and got close. This is a wandering old wolf. It had a brown fur coat, limping, and had one eye was damaged. Only the danger and alertness of its left eye remained. It stared at Fang Yuan tightly, its nose twitching. Wolves and dogs were the same, using their keen sense of smell. It must have been attracted by the pig blood. Wolves were often in packs, but there were also lone wolves like this. There were competition in wolf packs as well, and to maintain the atmosphere in the pack, they would sometimes get rid of those crippled old wolves. Fang Yuan quickly stood up and silently looked at this old wolf. Back then when he killed a wild boar, there would be little primeval essence left in his body, and that caused his fighting strength to greatly reduce. Thus when he encountered other wild beasts, he would choose to avoid them. But these few months, his battle strength had increased tremendously, and with the jade skin goo, against a crippled wolf, it was more than enough. The unrestrained mountain trees were everywhere with their red leaves. The setting sun illuminated the dark hour. A person and a wolf distanced 50 steps away, silently observed each other. I in the wolf's eye. Green light shone as it showed a cruel and cunning expression. Fang Yuan's eyes, however, were dark and eerie, his black iris emanating chilling intent. The white boar goo came out. It was full and returned to Fang Yuan's aperture satisfied. The old wolf looked at the wild boar. It had only bones and skin left. The meat was all eaten by the white boar goo. The wolf's eyes shone with green light and contracted. It first took a few steps back, then jumped into the bushes. This wolf was still alive till today. It definitely had some intelligence. It keenly felt Fang Yuan's danger and decided to retreat. Its entry and exit were both fast and abrupt, without the wild boar's crashing sound, and without the tiger's growling. Against Fang Yuan, without a sound, the battle had started and ended. The main theme of life and death, such excitement born from great nature. Fang Yuan stood on the spot and did not give chase. This wolf did not have anything worth Fang Yuan's attack. AIE. But the next moment, the old wolf's crying was heard. The wolf's howling suddenly erupted and ended suddenly. Even so, there was a thick surge of death aura overflowing. Crack crack. I in the bush. There were sounds of twigs being stepped on. The sound was fearless and got closer, causing Fang Yuan's iris to shrink, able to get rid of that sneaky old wolf in a second. His gaze became more and more chilly.